Okay, good morning once again, one and all. So today in this particular lecture, we will understand how to solve the problems on force vibrations due to the base excitation or support excitation. Now, as far as the last lecture is concerned, we have understand the theory of base excitation. Okay, so basically we have understand that the excitation is given to the base, that is in terms of y is equal to y sin omega, instead of excitation is given to the mass m. Okay, so we have understand that, let us say y is nothing but the absolute harmonic displacement of the support, x is the absolute displacement of the mass m, because the excitation is from the base to the mass m, right? And then we have also understand that the capital X indicates the absolute amplitude of the mass or the body, and y indicates the amplitude of base excitation, which is given as y is equal to y sin omega t. Okay. So finally we have derived the equation which is called the motion transmissibility or the displacement transmissibility, where x upon y, that is ratio of absolute amplitude of a mass or a body to the amplitude of a base excitation, is equal to square root of 1 plus 2 zeta r bracket square plus divided by square root of 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta r square, and the corresponding phase angle is phi minus alpha is equal to tan inverse of 2 zeta r upon 1 minus r square bracket square minus tan inverse of 2 zeta r. So these are nothing but the corresponding fundamentals which we have understand and we will be using to solve the problems on the support force vibration due to the support excitation. So first of all, let us solve the problem. The first problem is a vehicle of mass 1200 kg is traveling on a road surface of which varies sinusoidally with amplitude of 0.05 meter and wavelength of 6 meter. The suspension system has a spring constant of 400 kN per meter and damping ratio of 0.50. If the vehicle speed is 100 km per hour, find the amplitude of the vehicle. So first of all, let us draw a small figure which is not given, but we have to consider the figure. Okay. So what does this figure mean or indicates? So let us say that this m indicates the mass of the car or the vehicle. This k indicates the spring constant or stiffness of the suspension system of a car of a vehicle, and corresponding zeta is also given, that is 0.50. And we know that zeta is equal to c upon cc, where cc is equal to 2m into omega n. So omega n is nothing but the square root of k upon n. So once we find out omega n, we know the mass m is given, we can easily find out cc, and the zeta is given. So we will also get the another constant, that is the c of this particular system. So what is c? C is nothing but a damping constant, right? So this particular data is given. Now in this case, what you can understand, the excitation of the base is due to the rough road surface, which varies sinusoidally with the amplitude of 0.05 meter. Now we know that these wheels act, in case of the car or vehicle, the wheels acts as a base. This acts as a base or support. So obviously we are solving the problems on the base excitation or support excitation. Now the excitation to the base or the wheel is nothing but the y, which is equal to capital Y sin omega t. Where y is nothing but the absolute amplitude of the base excitation, and y is nothing but the absolute harmonic displacement. So now the excitation to the base or the wheel is due to which condition? Due to the rough road surface, which varies sinusoidally in this manner, right? So this is nothing but a rough road surface which varies sinusoidally, and because of this rough road surface, the wheel or the base or the support has been given a y sin omega t, that is a base excitation, and from this the excitation goes to the mass m, which is equal to x, and now this x is nothing but the absolute displacement of the mass or the body. So now they have asked, if the vehicle speed is 100 km per hour, find the amplitude of the vehicle. So the corresponding amplitude, that is x. What is x? X is nothing but the steady state amplitude, or you can also call it the steady state absolute amplitude. Steady state absolute amplitude, or amplitude of a car, or amplitude of a vehicle, or the amplitude of a mass or a body is nothing but the x, that we have to find out. Okay, so now here they have also given the suspension system has a spring which varies sinusoidally with amplitude of 0.05 meter. Means what? They have given capital Y, that is the amplitude of base excitation 0.05 meter, and now they have also given the wavelength of 6 meter. Wavelength of 6 meter means what? wavelength is nothing but the length of one wave. So let us consider this is the one wave from this point, let us say point A to the point B is the one wave. So the length of this one sine wave, because the road surface is sinusoidal in the sine wave form. So one sine wave is having one wavelength that is equal to lambda, which is given as 0, 20 meter. It is given as 6 meter. Lambda is given as 6 meters. Okay. So now let us solve this problem. So what they have asked? They have asked to find out the x, that is steady state absolute amplitude. Okay. So this is how we represent the particular problem in the form of this diagram. Okay. So now I will just write down the first of all given data. So mass m is given as 1200 kg. Capital Y, that is again I am repeating, amplitude of base excitation, capital Y. 0. They haven't given the harmonic displacement, small y. They have given capital Y 0.05 meter. They have given lambda, that is a wavelength of 6 meter. They have also given k is equal to 400 kilonewton, that is 400 into 10 raised to 3 Newton per meter, and the damping ratio zeta is equal to 0.5 they have given, and they have also given the vehicle speeds 100 km per hour. Okay, so vehicle speed is nothing but the 100 km per hour. So let us convert it into meter per second. 100 into 1000 divided by 3600, we are getting 27.77 meter per second. Okay, so now once you find out this v, what is the next step? You can easily find out omega n, that is the natural frequency of free vibration. Natural frequency of free vibration. So k is given 400 into 10 raised to 3 and mass is given as 1200 kg. So from this I am getting omega n as 18, after calculation 18.26 radian per second. Okay, and also I have v is equal to 27.77 meter per second, right? So now once you got v, okay, so how do you calculate the omega? Now we know that the time period Tp, the time taken to complete one cycle is nothing but a time period Tp, is obviously equal to the length of one wave or length of one cycle, that is lambda divided by velocity in meter per second. Now this time period is equal to 2 pi upon omega. So once you got time period, you can also find out omega. So omega is equal to 2 pi upon omega is equal to lambda is 6 meter divided by velocity is 27.77. Okay, so from this calculation I am getting omega. I am getting omega as 29.08. I am getting omega as 29.08 radian per second. Okay, now once I get omega n and omega, so now I can easily find out the frequency ratio. What is frequency ratio? It's a ratio of omega upon omega n. So r is equal to omega upon omega n. So what is omega? 29.08 divided by omega n is 18.26. I'm getting frequency ratio 1.593. Okay, so now you can easily find out steady state amplitude. Steady state amplitude. Now this steady state amplitude means what? It is also called the steady state absolute amplitude of what? Of vehicle. Of vehicle, or you can also write a vehicle having some mass m. Okay, and how this steady state amplitude of a vehicle is created, or a steady state amplitude of mass is created? It is basically due to the support excitation. What type of support excitation? Harmonic support excitation. That is a y sine y omega t. That is due to the base excitation. The steady state amplitudes are created in the vehicle having some mass. So that you have to calculate by using this formula, which is equal to, right here, support excitation. The formula is given by x upon y is equal to square root of 1 plus 2 zeta r bracket square divided by, the denominator is always same, 1 minus r square bracket square is 2 zeta r bracket square. Okay, so now all the terms are given. So we know that this x is equal to, and what is y? Y is 0.05. Square root of 1 plus 2 into y is zeta is 0.5 and r is 1.593. This bracket square root complete, divided by square root of 1 minus 1.593 bracket square. So 1 minus r square bracket square plus this term again 2 zeta bracket square. 2 into 0.5 1.593 bracket square. Okay, so from this calculation I am getting x, that is absolute steady state amplitude of a vehicle at 0.0425 meter. This I can also convert into the mm, that is 42.50 mm. I hope it is clear to all of you. Okay, so this is how we have to find out the steady state amplitude x due to the support excitation or the base excitation. I hope you have understood this. So now let us solve the another problem. What is the another problem? Which has also appeared in May 2014 to December 2014. So another problem is a motor car moving with a speed of 100 km per hour. So they have given v is equal to 100 km per hour has a gross mass of 1500 kg. So m they have given as 1500 kg. So again this is the diagram which indicates this particular problem statement. The diagram will remain same. The length of one wave or one cycle is nothing but a lambda. So when this wavelength is given, you can easily calculate the time period, that is a TP, taken to complete the one cycle, and from the time period we can easily uh, calculate omega, that is the external excitation frequency. So now m is given. It passes over a rough surface which has a sinusoidal surface with amplitude of 75 mm. So what they have given, capital Y, amplitude of base excitation, that is 75 mm. So I can convert it into meter, 0.075 meter, and a wavelength of 5 meter. The suspension system has a spring constant of K is equal to 500 into 500 Newton per mm. So 500 into 10 raised to 3 Newton per meter, and damping ratio is given zeta is equal to 0.05. Now they have asked you to find out the displacement amplitude of the car. So what do you mean by the displacement amplitude? Again same, that is x, that is nothing but the steady state amplitude of the car due to the support excitation, and they have also asked you to find out time lag. So to find out the time lag, first we have to find out the phase lag or phase angle. Okay, so now again this particular diagram is same. So we'll start with on the same note that first of all calculate v. V is given as 100 kilometer per hour. So that becomes again 100 into 1000 divided by 3600. So I think that is same, 27.77 meter per second. Now once you got v, you know that you can easily calculate Tp. So what is Tp? Time period is nothing but the 2 pi upon omega, which is equal to wavelength upon velocity. So therefore from this I am getting 2 pi upon omega is equal to pi divided by 27.27. So therefore I am getting omega, that is the frequency of external excitation or support excitation, that is y sin omega t, that is omega, which I am getting 34.90 radian per second. And once you know spring stiffness and mass, you can easily calculate omega n, k upon n. So that is 500 into 10 raised to 3 divided by 1500. So omega n you are getting as 18.257 radian per second. Now once you find out omega and omega n, we know that the frequency ratio r is equal to omega upon omega n. So that is equal to 34.90 divided by 18.257. So we can we'll get r is equal to 1.191. Now once you get r, what is the next step? We can easily find out the steady state amplitude or displacement amplitude x. So what is x? X is nothing but the steady state amplitude of a car or displacement amplitude of a car, or we can also call it the amplitude of a mass or a body, or steady state amplitude. You can, or you can also call it as the amplitude which is produced due to the support excitation or the base excitation. So that becomes x upon y is equal to the same formula, 1 plus 2 zeta r bracket square divided by square root of 1 minus r square bracket square plus 2 zeta r bracket square. Okay, so x upon y. So what is y? Y is nothing but a 0.075 is equal to, and then put all the rest values. 1 plus 2 into zeta is again 0.5, same, and r is nothing but a 1.91 bracket square, again square root of 1 minus 1.91 bracket square plus this 2 zeta r bracket square, this term as it is, 2 into 0.5 into 1.91. So from this calculation I am getting x, that is the steady state amplitude of a car, is equal to 0.049 meter. So my final answer is 49 mm. So this is my first step, or you can say the first point over. Now second case, you have to find out the time lag in seconds. Okay, so to find out the time lag in seconds, first of all you have to find out the phase angle. Now what is phase angle for the support acceleration? Phi minus alpha, we have already derived, right? So first of all let us find out the phi, that is tan inverse of 2 zeta r upon 1 minus r square. So this becomes tan inverse of 2 into 0.5, 1.91 divided by 1 minus 1.91 bracket square. So this phi, after putting into calculation, I am getting negative answer, that is minus 35.80 degree. So means what? This phase angle is, okay, out of phase 180 degree. So what we'll do, we'll add 180 degree to it. So I am getting pi phase angle. When you are getting negative, you have to add 180 degree because it is out of phase to 180 degree. And if it answer is a positive, so you can keep as it is. So here we are getting 144.20 degrees is the number phi you are getting. Okay. Now once you got phi, you can easily calculate alpha. Alpha is equal to tan inverse of 2 zeta r. So this I am getting as times of 2 zeta I am getting as 62.37 degree by putting 2 zeta and r here. Okay. So now what is phi minus alpha? Phi minus alpha, which is also called as a phase angle for force vibration due to support acceleration, or you can also call it as a phase lag, is equal to 144.20 minus 62.37 degree. So this phase angle phi minus alpha I am getting as 81.84 degree, right? So this is the second answer which I am getting, but yet the answer, final answer is not completed. So now they have asked you to find out the time lag. Okay, means what? Time taken for this particular phase lag. So it is obviously equal to, time lag is equal to phase lag divided by omega, the corresponding external excitation frequency. So now this phase lag is in degrees and omega is in radian per second. So this phase lag is in degrees, omega is nothing but a radian per second. So I want time lag into the seconds. So radian will get cancelled. So I will convert this phase lag into the radian. So I am getting 81.84 divided by, this is 34.90, multiply by, let's convert it into radian. So 180. So this becomes radian divided by radian into seconds. Adding that is cancelled, you are getting a time lag into the seconds. So finally you are getting time lag t is equal to 0.040925 seconds. So this is how you have to calculate the time lag and the steady state amplitude. Okay. So and now we will solve also one more problem based on this. So again, slightly the concept is same, but here what they have given, the spring of an automobile trailer are compressed 0.1 meter under their own weight. Find the critical speed when the trailer is passing over the road surface, same with the profile of sine wave with amplitude 100 mm and wavelength 20 meter. Find the amplitude of vibration at the speed of 60 km per hour. This again we have to find out amplitude of vibration is what we have to find out what you have to find out the x, that is the steady state amplitude. Okay, so again the figure will be same for this particular problem. Okay, so now here we have to find two things. The first is critical speed and second is the amplitude of vibration. Okay, so again we will draw the same figure and then we will write down the given data. Now here they have given del. What is del? Del is nothing but a static deflection. Okay, static. What is static deflection? We know that the force F is equal to K into delta. So K delta is equal to F upon K. But here what is F? F is nothing but under the own weight diameter. Means what? The spring is compressed under the own weight, that is mg upon K. So del is equal to what they have given, mg upon K, right? So this del, that is static deflection, which is equal to mg upon K, is given as 0.1 meter. No need to calculate, but they have given this, right? So this del is nothing but a static deflection, 0.1 meter. Okay. Now what they have given? Yeah. Now you know that omega n. Now they haven't given you mass m as well as the k. So how will you find out omega n? So we have another formula called as g upon delta. So what is omega n? Square root of 9 upon 8 divided by 0.1. So I am getting omega n as 9.90 radian per seconds. Okay. So first natural frequency of free vibration I have got. Right. Now what they have given? With y with the amplitude of 100 mm. That means what? Amplitude of base excitation they have given 100 mm, that is 0.1 meter. Wavelength they have given as 20 meter. Length of one wave or one cycle, whatever you can call. So from this we can easily find out the time period and the omega. Okay. So let us find this. Now we know that Vs also has been given 60 km per hour. It is obviously equal to 60 into 1000 divided by 3600. So after calculation, what I am getting? After calculation, 600 gets cancelled. So after calculation, 600 upon 36, I am getting 16.66 meter per second. Okay. Now I can write time period is equal to 2 pi upon omega is equal to wavelength upon velocity. So therefore 2 pi upon omega is equal to 20. Wavelength is what? 20 and V is 16.66. So from this I will get omega, that is the frequency of external excitation or base excitation, which is equal to 5.23 radian second. Okay. So now I can easily find out R, which is equal to corresponding frequency ratio, is equal to 5.23 divided by 9.90, which is almost greater than 1, sorry, less than 1, 0.528. So try to understand that this R is less than 0. R is less than 1. So what is the significance when R is greater than 1 and less than 1? In this particular problem we will understand. Now in this particular problem, if you can see, they haven't given you the condition of damping. Means what? They haven't. We know that zeta is equal to C upon Cc, which is equal to C upon 2m omega n. Now 2m omega n we know, but they haven't given you the C as well as they haven't given you the zeta. So means what? We can assume that the corresponding system is undamped system. So the system is undamped. The corresponding system is undamped because there is no any value of zeta as well as the C. Nothing is given. Either of the value is not given. So assuming that system is undamped. So therefore undamped is what? The zeta is 0. Now when zeta becomes 0, there is some modification in the formula which you have to understand. 1 plus 2 zeta r bracket square divided by, the denominator is always same, 1 minus r square bracket square is 2 zeta r square. Okay. So now this term will become 0, and so finally here will remain only 1, and here again this term will become 0. So I am getting x upon y is equal to 1 upon 1 minus r square. So this is the modification of the force equation of force vibration to the support excitation, that is motion transmissibility or displacement transmissibility. Now this equation is valid when r is less than 1, because the denominator is 1 minus r squared. So when r is less than 1, you will get the corresponding x, that is the steady state amplitude due to this base excitation y, right? But when r is greater than 1, this term will become negative. So you can modify this equation as x upon y is equal to 1 upon r square minus 1. So you can modify this equation and use as r square minus 1 when r is greater than 1. Okay. But in this particular problem, your r is less than 1. So So I will go with this equation, modified equation number 1 instead of going with the modified equation number 2. So I am getting x upon y. So y is nothing but a 0 0.1 is equal to 1 upon 1 minus r is nothing but a 0.52 a bracket square. So from this corresponding equation I am getting x, that is steady state amplitude, as 0.1386 meter. You can also convert it into the mm, right? Now, very important point. Now they have asked you to find out the critical speed. So let us understand what is critical speed. They have asked you to find out the critical speed. So in experiment number 8, I have helped you to understand the theory of the critical speed, which is divided by omega c in terms of radian per seconds, or Vc, which is Vc in terms of meter per second. So this speed is nothing but the critical speed. Okay. And again, the details of critical speed as well as the derivation we will understand in the module number 6. Okay. So here I will just explain you how to calculate the critical speed. So what I have explained, that the speed at which resonance occurs is known as the critical speed, right? And what is resonance? What is a resonance condition? The condition at which omega is equal to omega n, where omega is equal to omega n. So what is critical speed? The critical speed is the speed at which this omega is equal to omega n. Means what? This omega is equal to omega Vc. When this omega is equal to omega c, this speed is called as the critical speed. When the corresponding, or you can also call it as the speed at which resonance occurs, right? Now basically I have explained that there is a shaft which is connected into the two bearings. Let us say this is a bearing A and this is a bearing B, and the shaft is connected in the two bearings. And let us say there is a rotor which is mounted on the shaft, and this rotor of the shaft is having a center of gravity G, let us say center of gravity G, at an eccentric distance E from the axis of rotation of the shaft. Okay, so in such corresponding cases, the shaft will undergo a force vibration due to the unbalanced condition, and the unbalanced force is nothing but a centrifugal force, which is equal to MOE into omega square, which we have already understood in the rotating unbalance. Okay, so now in such case, let us say that the shaft is deflecting in this manner. So this corresponding length or corresponding deflection is denoted by y. Okay, so now when this y is equal to infinity, or this y approaches to infinity, okay, so when this y, that y means what? The deflection of the shaft. So when the deflection of the shaft approaches the infinity, the corresponding speed becomes a critical speed. So the critical speed is the speed at which the shaft deflection becomes infinity or approaches to infinity, and the speed at which resonance occurs is called the critical speed of the shaft. Okay. Now I have already explained you also that at this speed, which speed? Critical speed of the shaft, the amplitude of vibration of rotors is excessively large, and the amount of force transmitted to the foundation or bearing is also large. So we know that transmissibility Tr is equal to Ft upon F0. Okay, where Ft is nothing but a force transmitted to the foundation, and F0 is nothing but impressed force. Now, in such case, when this omega is equal to omega c, that is at a critical speed condition, which is also called as a whirling speed. This critical speed is also called as a whirling speed. The best example is the whirling of propeller shaft of an automotive in front engine, rear wheel drive vehicle. So this critical speed, or at critical speed or whirling speed, the force transmitted to the foundation or the bearings is very large. And in the region of this critical speed, the system normally fails because of the violent nature of vibration. Means what? The shaft starts vibrating violently, and that is why it is very important to find the omega n, natural frequency of the shaft, to avoid the occurrence of critical speed, which may result in excessive noise and the breakage of the pieces, and breakage of shaft into the pieces. Now I have also explained that this critical speed occurs basically due to the eccentric mounting of rotor, as I have explained in this figure. Eccentric mounting of the rotor may be due to the non-uniform distribution of the rotor material, or also there is some sort of bending in the shaft. So these are some 3 to 4 reasons which results into the deflection of the shaft to the infinity or the critical speed. So I hope you have understand the concept of critical speed. So in the detail we will understand the model number 6, the derivation for this. So now let us understand how to calculate the critical speed. So now I will calculate the critical speed Vc in meter per second. So we know that at critical speed, I will write here, at critical speed, omega is equal to omega n, and that corresponding critical speed equals omega c or Vc. Okay. So now we know that Tp is equal to 2 pi omega, 2 pi upon omega. So now 2 pi upon omega is equal to what is formula, lambda upon wavelength upon v. Now this is the, you can say, initial condition. So at when this condition will be called the critical condition or critical speed condition, then means what? When this v is Vc, this omega will be equal to omega n, right? So when the omega is equal to omega n, the corresponding speed v becomes Vc, that is the critical speed. Okay, so from this formula itself, you can calculate the critical speed of the shaft. So how will calculate 2 pi? What is the natural frequency? So this omega has is equal to omega n because the resonance conditions occurs. So 2 pi upon 990 is equal to 20 upon Vc. So instead of using omega, I will use a natural frequency because the resonance occurs at the critical speed. Okay, so I am getting Vc, that is the critical speed, is equal to 31.51 meter per second. So to avoid the failure of the shaft, the failure of the system, or the failure of the component, you have to avoid this critical speed. And how will you avoid this critical speed? You have to avoid the resonance condition. Okay, so this is how you have to solve the problems of the force vibration due to the support excitation. Okay, now we move on to the problem number 4. Now again the problem number 4 is also same, which is based on the automobile model, a single degree of freedom system vibrating in a vertical direction while traveling over a rough road surface. So again you can use the same figure. They have given you the y as well as the wavelength, and they have asked you to calculate the displacement amplitude of the vehicle, that is x. Okay, so you have to calculate x. So now you can take a screenshot of this particular problem and you can solve this as an assignment or as an homework. So this is how you have to solve the problems based on force vibration due to support excitation. Okay, so thank you so much.